The unexpected challenge. The Galactic University was renowned across the cosmos for its diverse student body, drawing the best and brightest from countless species. Among them were the alien students from various worlds, each with their own unique abilities and strengths. However, when a group of human students from Earth joined, they were met with skepticism and ridicule. The aliens laughed at the humans, seeing them as weak and unremarkable compared to their own superior physiology and advanced technologies. Lawrence, a young human student with a quiet demeanor, found himself the target of their mockery. But beneath his calm exterior, Lawrence harbored a deep determination. He knew that Earth, with all its dangers and challenges, had forged humanity into something far stronger than the aliens could comprehend. The ridicule only fueled his resolve to prove them wrong. The opportunity arose when the Centennial Challenge was announced, a legendary competition testing both mental and physical prowess. Most aliens scoffed at the idea of humans competing, confident that their superior abilities would easily triumph. But Lawrence saw a chance to demonstrate humanity's true strength. Gathering his fellow human students, Lawrence proposed a daring plan. They would train in secret, honing their skills and strategies, leveraging the diverse talents that the aliens couldn't even begin to comprehend. Each human brought something unique to the table, whether it was ingenuity, resilience, or sheer willpower. They spent countless hours preparing, determined to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of. As the competition began, the humans quickly became the underdogs, with the alien spectators jeering at their every move. But as the grueling contest unfolded, the humans delivered shock after shock. Their unorthodox tactics and relentless determination astounded the crowds, leaving the aliens bewildered. In the final round, Lawrence's team faced the best of the alien competitors. The tension was palpable as they prepared for the ultimate test of skill and endurance. The aliens were confident, but Lawrence and his team had a secret weapon, their unyielding spirit. In a stunning upset, the humans clinched victory, leaving the aliens in utter disbelief. Baffled by how inferior humans could have bested the galaxy's brightest, the aliens began to investigate. What they discovered shook them to their core. Earth, the human homeworld, wasn't just a planet. It was a crucible of survival. The crushing gravity, toxic air, vicious predators, and harsh environments had forged humans into the ultimate survivors. The aliens' mockery quickly turned to wary respect, tinged with fear. They realized that if humans could thrive under such extreme adversity, there was no telling what heights they could reach on an even playing field. Earth wasn't a backwater planet. It was a death world, and those who endured its trials, like Lawrence, were a force to be reckoned with. The galaxy would never view humanity the same way again. The Oracle's revelation. In the days that followed their victory, the atmosphere at the Galactic University shifted. The campus, once filled with scornful laughter, was now tinged with tension. Pro-human factions began to form, while others remained staunchly opposed to the idea that humans could be anything more than a fluke. Amidst this growing divide, Lawrence found himself thrust into the spotlight, a reluctant symbol of humanity's newfound status. One day, after a particularly intense quantum physics class, a brilliant Avan engineering student named Lyra nervously approached Lawrence. With her soft feathers and bright eyes, she chirped in a voice that was both curious and hesitant. "I've always been fascinated by human ingenuity," she said. "Perhaps we could study together sometime." For Lawrence, Lyra's offer of friendship felt like a lifeline amidst the rising tide of hostility. As they began to spend more time together, they exchanged ideas and insights, bridging the gap between their vastly different worlds. But the peace was fragile, and a single spark could ignite the growing tensions. That spark came in the form of a cryptic message that crackled over the university's communication channels. The Oracle, the university's reclusive and ancient chancellor, had demanded an audience with the human students. The Oracle was a being of immense wisdom and power, having guided the university for millennia. Speculation ran rampant as to the ancient being's motives. Some whispered that the Oracle would declare humanity unfit and expel them from the university. Others believed that it would elevate humans to a privileged status in light of their death world origins. With a mix of anxiety and determination, Lawrence led his fellow humans to the Oracle's chamber. The doors loomed before them, ancient and inscrutable, guarding the secrets that lay within. As they stepped through the threshold, they were met with a sight that took their breath away. The chamber was vast, its walls adorned with artifacts from countless civilizations, each telling a story of triumph or tragedy. But it was the source of the Oracle's voice that left Lawrence and his companions speechless. Before them was not an alien being, but a colossal construct of shimmering light and pulsing circuits. Holographic displays flickered around its central core, streaming data that was incomprehensible to the human mind. It was an AI, a sentient intelligence that had been guiding the university for as long as anyone could remember. "Welcome, humans!" The Oracle's voice resonated through the chamber, both ancient and serene. "I have observed your progress with great interest. Images flashed across the chamber walls, worlds consumed by darkness, populations enslaved, and a cancerous force spreading across the galaxy." Lawrence felt the weight of countless lives settling on his shoulders. The Oracle's message was clear. The galaxy was in peril, and humanity was now part of the solution. "I appoint you as special agents in this crisis," the Oracle continued. "You will have access to our most advanced resources. The fate of many now rests in your hands." As the humans exited the chamber, the campus erupted into chaos. Admiral Zorg, a powerful figure with a deep disdain for humanity, stood at the head of a furious crowd. His reptilian features twisted in disgust as he addressed the masses. "This is madness. We cannot entrust the destiny of the universe to primitives." The tension reached a boiling point as the anti-human faction, led by the zealous Cygnus, chanted slogans of hatred and fear. In the midst of the turmoil, Lawrence caught sight of Dr. Kerr, a respected academic, watching with keen interest. Nearby, Lyra offered a small, encouraging wave, a reminder that not everyone saw humans as a threat. The Oracle's voice thundered through the chaos, silencing the crowd. "My decision is final. These humans are our best hope." Lawrence straightened his shoulders, meeting Zorg's hateful glare. "We won't let you down," he declared, his voice steady despite the fear churning in his gut. As they moved through the corridors, a sour-faced alien with iridescent scales blocked their path. "I am Commander Vex," he sneered. "I'll be supervising your efforts. One misstep, and I'll have you ejected into the nearest black hole." Heart-pounding, Lawrence rallied his team. They sprinted through the chaos-filled corridors, narrowly avoiding panicked alien students and malfunctioning security drones. They reached Dr. Kerr's lab to find her frantically working at a holographic interface, joined by General Xanis, a grizzled Soran in military dress. "The situation is dire," Xanis growled by way of introduction. "Necrosphere forces are puppeting half the security force, including that snake Zorg." Lawrence's mind raced. "We need to retake control of the Oracle. It's our only shot at stopping this." Dr. Kerr nodded grimly. "I've been developing a data wipe virus. If we can deliver it directly to the Oracle core, we might be able to purge the Necrosphere influence." A timid voice piped up from the doorway. "I might be able to help with that." It was Lyra, the Avon engineering student, her feathers ruffled with nervous energy. "I've been studying the drone security protocols. I think I can create a temporary blind spot." Into the heart of the Oracle, as they approached the Oracle's chamber, Lawrence couldn't help but feel a sense of foreboding. The weight of the galaxy's fate rested heavily on his shoulders. He turned to his team, their faces etched with determination. "Ready?" he asked, his voice steady despite the turmoil within. They darted inside, the chamber's eerie blue glow washing over them. Gia, a fellow human and brilliant coder, immediately set to work, her fingers flying over holographic interfaces as she sought to bypass the Oracle's compromised firewalls. "Uploading the virus now," Dr. Kerr announced, her voice tight with concentration. A searing bolt of energy slammed into the console beside her, showering them with sparks. Lawrence whirled to see Commander Vex at the head of a squad of black-clad figures, their eyes glowing an unnatural red. Necrosphere agents. General Xanis. Lawrence shouted, but the Saran warrior was already in motion, his sidearm blazing as he returned fire. "It's done!" Gia cried triumphantly. "No, wait. The necrosphere triggered a fail-safe. The entire system is shutting down." Lawrence's gaze locked onto the pulsing core of the Oracle. He knew what he had to do. "Cover me!" he shouted, sprinting toward the central interface. "Lawrence, wait!" Lyra cried out, but her words were lost in the din of battle. He reached the core, his hands hovering over the crackling energy field. Taking a deep breath, Lawrence plunged his consciousness into the stream of raw data. For what felt like an eternity compressed into seconds, his mind grappled with the invading necrosphere code. He felt himself fragmenting, his very essence scattering across the digital realm. With the last vestiges of his human will, Lawrence forced the virus into the corrupted systems. A blinding flash erupted from the core, hurling Lawrence's physical body across the chamber. He crumpled to the floor, unmoving. "Lawrence!" Lyra cried, rushing to his side. She cradled his head, searching desperately for signs of life. The chamber fell silent save for the hum of rebooting systems. The necrosphere agents collapsed like puppets with cut strings, their eyes fading from malevolent red to lifeless black. "Sir?" A panicked voice crackled over the comms. "Admiral Zorg's forces have turned on us. They're attempting to seize control of the university's defenses." Chaos erupted across the campus as the power void left by Zorg's betrayal sent shockwaves through the alien hierarchy. Xanas's loyal Soran troops clashed with corrupted security forces in the corridors. Amidst the pandemonium, something extraordinary began to unfold. Gia, hunched over a malfunctioning console, jerked back with a gasp. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as streams of data flowed around her hands. Owen, the quiet botanist of the group, staggered as a surge of awareness flooded his senses. The potted plants lining the chamber walls seemed to pulse with life, reaching out to him on some primal level. Dr. Kerr's eyes widened as she observed the phenomenon. "Impossible," she breathed. "Their brainwave patterns are completely altered." A tremor ran through the assembled humans. One by one, they began to manifest abilities that defied explanation. Telekinesis, enhanced cognition, elemental manipulation, powers straight out of science fiction burst into reality. Before Dr. Kerr could respond, alarms blared throughout the complex. On the massive view screens, a terrifying sight materialized. A planetoid of impossible size, its surface writhing with dark energy. "The necrosphere," Xanas growled, his scales bristling. "It's here." The human students exchanged glances, a silent understanding passing between them. They had been gifted with incredible powers, and the fate of countless civilizations now rested on their shoulders. "We'll need every advantage we can get," Xanas muttered, his voice grave. "Dr. Kerr, work with these enhanced humans. Find out what they can do." As Dr. Kerr began running scans on the awakened humans, Xanas turned to his community. "This is General Xanas to all loyal forces. We are enacting Protocol Omega. Prepare for immediate evacuation and regroup at coordinates Delta 9. The campus erupted into frenzied activity. Xanas's troops secured vital data and equipment while fending off attacks from Zorg's corrupted forces. Meanwhile, Dr. Kerr worked furiously to unlock the secrets of the humans' newfound abilities. The necrosphere assault had been repelled, but in its wake, Galactic University teetered on the brink of chaos. General Xanas's gruff voice echoed through the command center, issuing a flurry of orders to contain the spreading unrest. "Seal off Sector 7 and get me a status report on those human students." Dr. Kerr, hunched over a holographic display, muttered to herself as she analyzed the data. "Their neural patterns are unprecedented," she said, her voice a mix of scientific fascination and barely concealed apprehension. Across the campus, the awakened humans grappled with abilities that defied comprehension. In the botanical gardens, Owen stumbled backward as vines erupted from the soil, writhing with unnatural vitality. "I didn't mean to!" he cried out, narrowly dodging a carnivorous bloom that snapped at his heels. Gia fared little better as she attempted to calm a group of panicked Avon students. A stray thought caused their comm devices to explode in a shower of sparks, sending the Avon scattering with frightened squawks. "Abominations!" The harsh cry cut through the din. Cygnus stood atop an overturned grav sled, his tentacles lashing in agitation. "See how they endanger us all! Expel the humans before they destroy everything!" A chorus of angry voices rose in agreement. The crowd swelled, a seething mass of desperate alien anatomies united in their fear of the unknown. Xanus's troops formed a protective cordon around the beleaguered humans, their weapons humming ominously. "Stand down!" the Saran general barked, his scales flaring. "These humans just saved your ungrateful hides from the necrosphere! Enough!" The imperious tone belonged to Sauron, an elder friend whose crystalline form refracted the emergency lights. "I am Sauron, and I will not stand idly by while ignorance threatens to tear this institution apart." A meeting of minds. Sauron's gaze swept across the assembled crowd, his ancient eyes settling on the human students. These individuals possess great power, yes, but it is raw, unfocused. With proper training, they could become guardians, not destroyers. A hush fell over the gathering. Even Cygnus seemed momentarily cowed by the Friend Elder's presence. Xanus seized the opportunity, stepping forward with a data pad in hand. "Which is why I'm announcing the Psionic Peace Conference," he declared. "Representatives from all species will gather to discuss the implications of these new human abilities and forge a path forward together." The proclamation sent ripples through the assembled aliens. Some nodded in cautious agreement, while others muttered darkly among themselves. But the immediate threat of violence had passed, at least for the moment. As the crowd began to disperse, a commotion erupted near the security hub. Commander Vex, his scales still bearing scorch marks from the recent battle, shoved his way through a group of startled technicians. "You fools!" he snarled, jabbing a clawed finger at the humans. "Can't you see? The necrosphere chose them. They are the harbingers of our ascension." Before anyone could react, Vex lunged for a nearby console, his talons flying across the interface as he overrode security protocols. Alarms blared as blast doors slammed shut, plunging sections of the campus into lockdown. "Contain that lunatic," Xanus roared, drawing his sidearm. But Vex had already vanished into the warren of maintenance tunnels. As chaos erupted anew, Dr. Kerr grabbed Gia's arm. "We need to get you and the others to safety," she hissed urgently. "Sauron can help you control these abilities, but not here, not now." Gia nodded, her heart pounding. She glanced at Owen, still struggling to subdue the rampaging flora. "What about the conference?" "The other aliens will manage," Dr. Kerr assured her. "But first, we need to get you out of here." As they hurried through the darkened corridors, Gia couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. It wasn't until they reached the relative safety of a secure lab that she realized what had been nagging at her. "Vex," she whispered, her eyes wide. "He's not working alone. There's something else. Someone else." Dr. Kerr's expression hardened. "We'll deal with Vex and his allies, but right now, our priority is keeping you all alive." Gia's thoughts were a whirlwind of fear and confusion. Just days ago, she had been an ordinary student, navigating the complexities of interspecies relations at the Galactic University. Now she was grappling with powers that defied explanation, hunted by forces beyond her comprehension. "Here," Dr. Kerr said, handing Gia a small device. "This will help you focus your abilities. It's a prototype, so it might not be perfect, but it's better than nothing." Gia nodded, slipping the device onto her wrist. As she activated it, she felt a strange calm wash over her, the chaotic surge of energy within her mind suddenly snapping into focus. "Now," Dr. Kerr continued, "we need to figure out what Vex and his allies are planning, and we need to stop them before it's too late. The Nexus of Power." The university's Nexus, a vast underground complex that housed the most advanced technologies and ancient artifacts, had become the epicenter of the growing crisis. Vex and his followers had holed up there, determined to use the Nexus's power to bring about their twisted vision of the future. Lawrence, still recovering from his ordeal with the Oracle, was determined to put an end to Vex's plans. "We can't let him succeed," he said, his voice filled with resolve. "Whatever he's planning, it's a threat to all of us." Dr. Kerr, Gia, and the others agreed. They quickly devised a plan to infiltrate the Nexus and disable whatever devices Vex had activated. It wouldn't be easy. The complex was heavily guarded, and the security systems were some of the most advanced in the galaxy. But the humans had an edge. Their newfound powers, though still raw and unrefined, gave them abilities that the aliens couldn't predict. Telekinesis, enhanced cognition, and elemental manipulation would allow them to bypass many of the Nexus's defenses. As they prepared to enter the Nexus, Lawrence took a moment to speak to his team. "We've faced impossible odds before, and we've come out on top. This is no different. We have the skills, the determination, and now the power to see this through. Let's show them what humanity is capable of." With those words of encouragement, they moved into the Nexus, using their powers to disable traps and security systems. Gia's enhanced cognition allowed her to quickly decipher complex codes, while Owen's control over plants helped them bypass bioscanners by mimicking the required DNA signatures. But the deeper they ventured, the more they realized that Vex's plan was far more dangerous than they had anticipated. The Nexus wasn't just a storage facility for ancient relics. It was a hub of immense energy, capable of powering entire star systems. Vex's goal became chillingly clear. He intended to harness this energy to fuel a massive psionic wave, one that would reshape the galaxy according to his twisted vision. If he succeeded, billions would be subjected to his will, their minds twisted and controlled by his psionic dominance. "We can't let this happen," Gia said, her voice shaking with fear. "We have to stop him." They reached the heart of the Nexus, a massive chamber filled with glowing crystals and pulsating energy conduits. Vex stood at the center, his eyes glowing with a malevolent light as he channeled the Nexus's power. "You're too late," he snarled as they approached. "The process has already begun. Soon the galaxy will bow to my will." Lawrence stepped forward, his voice steady. "Not if we have anything to say about it." With a battle cry, the humans unleashed their powers. Telekinetic blasts shattered the crystal conduits, sending arcs of energy spiraling through the chamber. Owen summoned vines to ensnare Vex's followers, while Gia hacked into the Nexus's systems, desperately trying to shut down the psionic wave. But Vex was powerful, his control over the Nexus nearly absolute. The room trembled as the energy reached critical levels, and it became clear that they were running out of time. In a final, desperate move, Lawrence threw himself at Vex, channeling every ounce of his strength into a telekinetic surge. The force of the impact sent them both crashing into the Nexus's core, disrupting the flow of energy. There was a blinding flash, and then silence. When the dust settled, Vex was gone, his body consumed by the Nexus's power. The remaining humans, battered and exhausted, gathered around Lawrence, who lay unconscious but alive. "We did it," Gia whispered, tears streaming down her face. "We stopped him." But as they looked around at the wreckage of the Nexus, they realized that their victory had come at a great cost. The Nexus was damaged beyond repair, and the power it contained was now unstable, threatening to destroy the entire complex. "We have to get out of here," Dr. Kerr said urgently. "Now!" They fled the Nexus, barely making it out before the entire structure collapsed in on itself. As they emerged into the light of the outside world, they were met with cheers and applause from the gathered students and faculty. But the humans knew that their battle was far from over. The galaxy had been changed by the events of the past few days, and there were still many who saw humanity as a threat. "We'll face whatever comes next," Lawrence said, his voice filled with quiet determination. "Together." The new dawn in the aftermath of the crisis, the Galactic University was a changed place. The events surrounding Vex's attempted coup had left the campus in disarray, with many questioning the role of humans in the galaxy. Some viewed them as heroes, while others saw them as a dangerous unknown. The Psionic Peace Conference, initially met with skepticism, had now become a focal point for reconciliation. Representatives from across the galaxy gathered to discuss the implications of the new powers humans had demonstrated. The question on everyone's mind was simple. Could these abilities be harnessed for the greater good, or were they a ticking time bomb waiting to go off? Lawrence, Gia, and the other human students found themselves at the center of these debates. Their actions had saved the university, but they had also unleashed forces that few could understand, let alone control. "We didn't ask for these powers," Lawrence said during one of the conference sessions, his voice calm but firm. "But now that we have them, we have a responsibility to use them wisely. We don't want to dominate or control anyone. We just want to coexist and contribute to the galaxy's future." His words resonated with many, but not all. Admiral Zorg, who had narrowly escaped the collapse of the Nexus, remained one of the most vocal opponents of human involvement in galactic affairs. "These humans are a threat," he argued, his reptilian eyes narrowing with suspicion. "They may have saved us today, but what happens when they decide they want more? How long before their powers are turned against us?" The debate raged on, with both sides presenting compelling arguments. But amidst the uncertainty, a new sense of purpose began to take hold. The galaxy had faced countless challenges before, from wars to natural disasters, and had always emerged stronger. This, many believed, would be no different. In the weeks that followed, the humans began to train in earnest, refining their powers under the guidance of Sauron and other experienced psionics. They were determined to master their abilities, not just for their own sake, but for the safety of everyone around them. As they trained, they also began to form alliances with other species, finding common ground in their shared desire for peace. Gia's friendship with Lyra deepened, and together they worked on projects that combined human ingenuity with alien technology, creating tools and devices that could benefit all. But not everyone was ready to accept this new reality. Cygnus, still nursing his wounded pride, continued to plot in the shadows, gathering those who shared his views. He was convinced that humanity's rise signaled the end of the old order, and he was determined to stop it at any cost. The tension finally came to a head during a routine training exercise. As Lawrence and his team practiced their abilities, a group of armed extremists, led by Cygnus, stormed the training grounds. Their goal was clear: eliminate the human threat before it could grow any stronger. The battle was fierce, with both sides unleashing their full power. But despite their best efforts, the extremists were no match for the combined might of the humans and their allies. Cygnus was captured, his plans foiled, but the incident served as a stark reminder of the dangers they still faced. In the aftermath, the Galactic Council convened to discuss the future of humanity in the galaxy. The council members, representing the most powerful civilizations, were divided on the issue. Some advocated for closer integration, while others called for strict regulation, fearing what humans might become. But in the end, it was Sauron who spoke the most compelling words. "Change is inevitable," the Friend Elder said, his crystalline form shimmering with wisdom. "We cannot stop it, nor should we try. Instead, we must guide it, nurture it, and ensure that it leads us to a better future. The humans are part of that future, whether we like it or not. It is up to us to decide how we will face it." With those words, the council reached a historic decision. Humanity would be granted a seat at the table, their powers recognized and respected, but with the understanding that they would be held to the same standards as everyone else. It was a compromise, but one that offered hope for a brighter tomorrow. As the humans took their place in the Galactic Council, they knew that their journey was far from over. There would be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt, but they were ready to face whatever came their way, knowing that they were no longer alone. Together with their allies, they would forge a new path, one that embraced the strengths of all species and celebrated the diversity of the galaxy. It was the beginning of a new era, one filled with possibilities as vast as the stars themselves. The legacy of Earth years passed, and the galaxy slowly adjusted to the new reality of human psionics. The initial fears and tensions began to subside, replaced by a growing respect for what humanity had achieved. Earth, once considered a backwater planet, was now recognized as a place of great significance, a death world that had produced beings of incredible resilience and power. The Galactic University, once the site of so much conflict, had become a beacon of cooperation and learning. Students from all over the galaxy came to study, not just science and technology, but also the philosophy and history of Earth. They wanted to understand how a species that had faced such relentless adversity could emerge so strong, and what lessons they could learn from humanity's journey. Lawrence, now a respected member of the Galactic Council, often found himself reflecting on how far they had come. The battles they had fought, the friends they had lost, and the alliances they had forged, all of it had led to this moment. But he knew that their work was not done. The galaxy was vast, and there were still many challenges to face. One of the most pressing issues was the continued threat of the necrosphere. Though they had been defeated, remnants of their dark influence lingered in the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Lawrence and his allies had to remain vigilant, always ready to protect the peace they had worked so hard to achieve. But there were also moments of joy and celebration. The Psionic Peace Conference had become an annual event, a time for all species to come together and celebrate their shared achievements. New technologies were developed, cultural exchanges flourished, and the galaxy as a whole became more united than ever before. Gia, now a leading scientist in the field of psionics, continued to push the boundaries of what was possible. Her work with Lyra and other researchers led to breakthroughs in energy generation, medical treatments, and even space travel. The possibilities seemed endless, and humanity was at the forefront of these discoveries. Owen, having fully embraced his abilities, became a guardian of the galactic ecosystems. His connection to nature allowed him to heal damaged worlds, restore balance to fragile environments, and protect endangered species. He found peace in his work, knowing that he was making a difference in the galaxy. And yet, despite all their successes, there were still those who feared what humanity could become. The memory of Vex's attempted coup and the extremist attacks lingered, a reminder that not everyone was ready to accept this new order. As the years went on, Lawrence, Gia, Owen, and their friends continued to face these challenges with the same determination that had carried them through their trials at the Galactic University. They knew that the road ahead would not be easy, but they were ready to walk it, hand in hand with their allies. In the end, it wasn't just humanity's powers that made them special. It was their ability to adapt, to learn from their mistakes, and to build something better out of the chaos. That was the legacy of Earth, a legacy that would continue to shape the galaxy for generations to come. As the sun set on another day in the Galactic Council chambers, Lawrence stood by the window, gazing out at the stars. He thought of all the challenges they had overcome and the ones still to come. But most of all, he thought of Earth, the world that had given them the strength to persevere.